the ones that want to know the truth, I mean, we've just put out the truth. So
virtual reality. Hi, I'm Danny Murphy.
And I'm Evan Real.
And we are on the Christmas Eve of BravoCon this week. Evan, me and you are very excited, already tired, and confused about what will happen, I'm assuming, but I can't wait for it all to happen.
Well, one thing we know that isn't happening is an appearance from Miss Ramona Singer, because she's been cut from the BravoCon festivities. And, I can't say that I am shocked, because after some Page Six reporting occurred this week, I didn't know how her appearance would or could have gone.
Yeah, I don't know what her appearance, I could not imagine after this week her on a red carpet going turtle time, everyone would be like, no, we're good. But I know it's all coming after. It is interesting where I feel like Vanity Fair should just remake that title to the Ramona Reckoning, because that's kind of been the major
those were the biggest bombshells from this Vanity Fair expose. I mean, it really was sort of hyped up as this Bravo expose, but really, like you said, it was kind of like a Ramona expose, because I feel like the meatiest chunks of this Vanity Fair article were the Ramona parts. We knew that the investigation happened. We knew that she allegedly used a racial slur while filming season 13 with Ebony in front of a Black producer. These are things we knew, but it was reported so thoroughly that there was more context and a little bit more details that really painted the whole picture. And now I'm just thinking, how was it her text message to our wonderful page,
the interesting thing,
Francesca Bacardi, it was the text message that ultimately brought her down. It wasn't these instances of alleged problematic behavior and state. I'm just how was it this?
I know. All I know is that I am glad action was taken. And speaking of things being taken, I love the photo that Vanity Fair took of Ebony in her apartment that she owns. That I remember because she did a huge spread in the New York Times of it, and I was obsessed with it. And her just posing for that, I'm like, okay, I'm glad, because everyone, I feel, after that last RHONY season, people were annoyed at Ebony. And then you're kind of no, this is what she was working with and dealing with. So I feel there may be, I don't know if there's a justice for Ebony now, or I think she's kind of just now I've said my piece. And she also said, F Bethany Frankel, I think, which when I first read through the entire thing, that was the moment where I was like, oh, I need to go to Staples and print something out, because this is just, but not, Bethany, do not get mad. The idea that it started with Bethany posing with her dogs in the Hamptons, being I am this Vanity Fair article. And Ebony's like, huh? No, not actually, babe.
No, that paragraph definitely gave me whiplash. And, I was excited to see Ebony share her truth. And then, of course, Bethany had to respond on Instagram, and she posted this message from Ebony from 2020, when she was thanking her for using her voice to speak up for Black Lives Matter at that time. And then, Ebony posted that screenshot and was like, this girl tried it.
Because Bethany cut out the last part where Bethany's like, can we talk for a minute? And then Ebony's like, and I love that Ebony actually was the one who left her on red, right. And then was able to kind of be like, no, I'm okay. This is not, and it's kind of an insane, it's very interesting. Bethany's all up in her comment sections now, not Ebony's, but her own, kind of talking about how she knows how to play the game still. And it's no one is questioning that, Bethany. I'm just I'm confused at what's happening.
Yeah, very confused. But like you said, I do love that Ebony had this shining moment. And if there is a justice for Ebony movement happening, I'm there on the picket lines. I've always loved and appreciated Ebony. And it's just so crazy to me that after the turmoil of season 13, that I don't know, people within that reality TV universe chose to continue to hire Ramona for Girls Trip and utilize Ramona for RHONY Legacy. And then Ebony is the only RHONY girl from season 13 who hasn't appeared on a Girls Trip. She was discarded, I think, really unfairly, but now that she has said her piece and she took her cute little photos for Vanity Fair,
and she has 3 shows on her own. So
she's soaring and doing her thing. Yeah. And Ebony, if you're listening, we love you.
We love you. And who else we love? Dorit Kemsley. who is really giving us such life, not only on this season of Beverly Hills, but we also talked to her. But we talked to her a lot about her and PK, her and Kyle and Mo, because this week's Beverly Hills, watching the tension that you could not only cut with a knife, you walk into the tension of Kyle and Mo having the dinner party.
I doesn't know for sure. And she was like,
whatever, I don't want to talk about that right now.
well, I just want you to know that she wasn't even mad at this. And then your dad
It's not about that. It's mine to talk about, not anybody else's, and not, you know, whether I choose to talk about it or not. And I don't want to talk about it right now. I don't want to talk about it.
It's not even the dinner party from hell being teased. It's like the dinner party in purgatory, because I feel no one is saying what they want to say. And I'm just like, it reminds me of like when they cut the audio of like Wendy Williams walking into like set and like walking on stage, where it's just so awkward. That's what watching this is, because it was so uncomfortable.
It was so uncomfortable. And poor Portia. Portia is the real victim here. Her cute little birthday dinner, which by the way was like so low key. I felt like the birthday dinner was like so casual. Like it looked like they like picked up from like Buca de Beppo, and then she got like a $1,300 Cartier ring, which like we've mentioned before, Danny, it feels like a 25-cent like ring pop situation
From them.
for
Yes.
the Umanskis. I don't know. It just felt like so cute and casual and low key, and then to sort of have this like dark cloud of the tension going on between Kyle and Mauricio over it. I do feel bad for Portia, but I also feel bad for Kyle, because this issue over her freaking tattoos, like, let the woman mark her body up however she wants to. And if she wants to tell your mom, her mother-in-law, who she's known for decades now, like, let her know. Like, it's just, it was so.
Also, she's in her 50s.
Right.
Why does she need a permission slip to go on Ink Master with Joel? Like, what are we doing here?
It was so weird, but I do love to see Kyle sort of like testing her boundaries, because when she was talking to Mama Umansky, she sort of like implied or suggested or revealed, because I'm not really sure if Mauricio actually does have tattoos, but she made Mauricio's mom think that Mauricio does have tattoos, which I guess is a big fat no-no in their family. And so that really upset Mauricio, but it sort of just like heightened this new dynamic that they are existing in. And I think that is Kyle wanting to explore and break free and find a little bit more freedom outside of her marriage, and Mauricio not really being able
that
to
Ariana Grande style. Yeah.
Right, like he just needs to like meet her there and let her break free. And you know, she's doing it regardless, and I guess that's like adding to this sort of palpable tension within their relationship.
I know. And I mean, the tensions are not just in their relationships, where it's like, because Dorit and PK, obviously we saw them in real time make their joint statement, kind of like that they're working on everything. But in this week's episode 2, they had the pretty woman walking down the street moment, which like A for effort, but I don't know if Dorit was happier when the glam came, which is a fair want and need. But we also talked to her a little bit about the kind of the things leading up to the issues with her and PK that we don't really get to see on the show as much, but she wanted to let us know about what was really going on.
We had listen, the last couple of years post-home invasion, they've been very difficult for me. You know, there's no area of your life that it doesn't touch. And, you know, my husband, who travels for work, and he was traveling the most that year, and it was the year I needed him the most, you know, and that really, it definitely took a toll, and we had our challenges. And, you know, when you're going through something that's very foreign, and we weren't filming at the time, you know, we were off season. So you go through it. I mean, it's your private matters, right? And it's not like we're heading to divorce court, but we're disconnected, which PK and I, we really are very codependent, and we're connected. So it's like the first time in 13 years we've been together that we felt this disconnect. And so it was, you're kind of like trying to even figure it out. So no, I wasn't sharing and talking about it per se. In fact, when we came into this season, it was really important for me to be open and honest and talk about it, because it's the reality. It's the reality of what I faced and we faced. And, you know, it's not just in my marriage. It was, you know, in a lot of areas in my life. And, you know, PTSD really grabbed hold of me. And then, with the second robbery, it threw me back in tenfold.
And I was wondering, and I don't know if you and PK get into this down the line, but I know from my own personal experience sometimes, but when something really stressful or traumatic happens, I tend to just bury myself in work. And when you were talking about how PK was traveling, doing all this stuff, do you feel in hindsight or from him, was that a defense mechanism because he couldn't process, or was it just so happened to be a really busy time?
That is such a great question. And actually, I'm going to tell you, thank you for even bringing that up and hearing it from your perspective, because these are the kinds of things that what we end up doing is we personalize it, right? So it's really like from my perspective, here I am where I'm always the one who is there for everyone. And, I need you the most and you're not here, and didn't or couldn't really look at it from any other perspective. And whilst you're working through things, particularly that, I think it's really important that you do open yourself up to be compassionate to the other person, for both of us, him, me, and me, him. And it's true. Listen, PK wasn't here, the night of the home invasion. And I'm sure that there is some guilt and some feelings that he needs to process. And it's easier, I suppose, you bury yourself in work and you're running and you're not really faced with it. But, when you're in a relationship and, it's even the hard times that you have to be there for, and I know it's not fun, but, especially going through what I had to go through and, taking care of two little beautiful children that I kept it away from them. And it was really important that I did. They're still young enough where they're not Googling and they're not on social media. So I could, keep it away from them, taking care of them and working and trying to do things and not having my partner there. It made life very difficult. And it obviously caused some problems. But, we ultimately, thank goodness, we never separated. We had our challenges and we continued to work through, and get better and better and stronger. And, that's not always something that happens overnight,
I love that you guys didn't give up despite a challenging time. So it was interesting that when the season premiered, those rumors about your marriage came up and there were reports that you weren't living together. How did that impact you and PK personally after putting in so much work to get to a better place?
So, I got word just before the article was going to run. And, that's why PK and I decided to put out a statement right away, because I knew that this could, and we're not the type really that there's been so many things in the paper and rumors and so on. I don't debunk things. I don't even pay attention when things are just not real. I let it have its moment, because why give it air, and I feel like you'll end up chasing your tail. And this was one of those times where I just knew, especially because we were very open and vulnerable and talking about it in the season. If we weren't going to address it, then it could take on a life of its own. And so we immediately put out a statement. It's never fun, to see those things. But at the point that you're jointly putting out a statement, debunking it and saying, this is not true, we're not going to focus on rumor and hearsay. Rather, we're going to continue to work on our marriage and the commitment that we have to the family as a united couple. It was like, whatever anyone wants to say after that, well, then go for it. You have our take on it. You have the ones that want to know the truth. I mean, we've just put out the truth. So, it's never fun, Evan, but it's par for the course.
And it's not just, Wednesday is now kind of the day you can't have plans, or you shouldn't, because your plans are just keeping Bravo on for the entire night, because we're back in Miami.
We're back in Miami, baby. And Danny and I are on Miami. I don't know if you guys caught that, but Danny and I have a cute little cameo on the season premiere.
We're holding mojitos.
Yeah, where are our mojitos? Like, give us a freaking mojito. Because Danny and I, we were on the season 6 premiere for a second, blink and you miss it. But we were there, we were present and accounted for. And Danny asked a question that sort of incited this pretty explosive drama between
Oopsies.
Gertie and Larsa.
I don't understand the Gertie thing, how she was talking about me. I've been nothing but nice and supportive of her.
I didn't even know.
She said I was the fakest.
Huh?
Who actually is the fakest housewife of them all?
Gonna be Larsa.
If there's anything you know about me, am I fake? No.
Because we played a little game at our live show. It was inspired by Nicole's magic mirror disc to Larsa, where she's, you know, had Larsa hold up the little mirror, and it was like, who's the fakest one of all? It's you, girl, and you're not invited to my party anymore. So we wanted to get Gertie's take on it. We held up a little mirror, and honestly, it wasn't even Danny's question. It was the magic mirror's question. It was a shady little mirror.
It was sent from above. We
Yeah.
couldn't. I don't know how mirrors work. I don't make mirrors. It's not just like we had to let it happen, and we didn't. I honestly did not know who Gertie was gonna say.
I was kind of shocked because the audience started a little Larsa chant. I was like, Larsa, and then finally Gertie was like, yeah, it's Larsa. So we started some drama, and guess who we had to share her take on the drama?
Well, my favorite too is when we were talking to Alexia about it. She was like, well, you guys weren't specific. Do you mean fake body or fake personality? And we were like, this is why I love the Miami girls, because she was saying that to defend Larsa, but it just made me LOL so much. She's like, well, I don't know what Gertie was talking about. I think that's what Larsa was looking for, the clarification. And Alexia she gave us all the clarification we need for every single thing.
I feel like the cameras today versus when I started doing this in 2010 have like this special filter that like filter when you're lying. So that's why it's so easy for me, because I'm like, I only say the truth. So it's like, you know, my truth is bigger and better than all of your lies, you know, because a lot of the girls on this show, on this cast, are like liars. And I have a problem with that. Yeah.
Wait,
you tell
okay.
me the truth.
Who are the liar pants on fires?
Who would you say?
First of all, Adriana, we can start by Adriana, right? I mean, I feel like she always has to like say something or bring something up that's like a lie. And I think that that's what my biggest fallout with her has been. Because, you know, again, I mean, I hate to talk about the past, but one of the reasons why we got to where we're at today is because of her fake boyfriend. So it's like, if I would have said that about a real boyfriend of hers or a real husband or somebody that she was really in a relationship with, then I would have owned it, you know, but I don't think I hurt her in any shape or form by, you know, saying something that I thought was correct. It wasn't a rumor. I told her in her face that the guy was married. And by the way, it was her fake boyfriend. So, you know, if it was like a real boyfriend, okay, my God, I'm sorry, I could have created a problem, but there wasn't even a relationship. I didn't create a problem. You know what? She created a problem between her and I. Because she brought him to the party to disrespect me. So then that's why things ended the way they did. Then New York happened.
Do you know what I did think was beautiful though, Alexia? In your sit down with Adriana, she admits that she didn't like the way that Terry was talking to you. So you kind of, by facilitating that moment, you kind of did her a favor to inspire her to drop him, I guess, as her.
Yeah, I saved her.
You saved her some money on his payroll. No more fake boyfriend to pay for.
Yeah, no, I think she learned her lesson with that too, because, you know, since my life is really real and everything I put out there, you know, I take offense when people make up, you know, lies or rumors, whatever, which you'll see this season as well, like that have to do with me, as you probably already saw in the trailer. But when you come with lies, then you shouldn't be so offended, because, you know, she knows that she can't win with a fake boyfriend because she thought that would help her story. And the fact that I said that, and when I told her that I was coming from a good place with good intentions, and then she turned it on to a storyline. Then after New York, she decided to go on a press tour and continue to bash me and my family. So you guys don't see that, right? You just see what happened in New York and, you know, the season, New York, and then that's it. But, you know, there is something called social media and press, and that's what she did. So it really took a lot of effort on my part, truthfully, to want to have this lunch with her and, you know, try to make things better between she and I. Because she had a lot of hurtful and painful things, you know, and I'm not a hypocrite. You know, I think everybody should do this when they're ready. You know, Julia did play a decisive role, you know, and kind of interfering and just saying, please give her a chance. You know, I'm talking to her too, and she wants things to be better. So, you know, we need to thank Julia, because Julia was really, you know, influential, you know, as far as I went, as having lunch with her, you know, giving her a chance.
At what point did you decide in your conversation with Adriana, okay, I feel, you know, safe enough to invite you into my home and include you in this Nuevos Horizontes moment? Like, what was like the turning point in the conversation for you? Did you feel like she was genuinely sorry for what she had said in regard to Frankie's accident?
Yeah, no, I do believe that. You know, I do believe that she says a lot of reckless things come out of her mouth that she doesn't even really know what she's saying or doing. I don't really think that she was trying to hurt me or Frankie, because I mean, who could want to hurt Frankie? But I think that sometimes she just like loses it and just says, you know, things that don't make any sense, you know. And again, like what I told her, like, I'm tired of her. Like, it's just like we have a long history, but I felt like the reason why she liked me before was because she always had pity for me and she always saw me as a victim because I had been through so many things in my life. And that's not why I want you to like me, because I'm actually proud that those things have made me the woman that I am today and the strength that I have. So it was always like, okay, I'm not going to pick on Alexia. I'll go pick on Larsa, and I'll go pick on Joanna, and I'll go pick on all the other ones that I secretly hate for whatever reasons. But I'm going to give Alexia the pass because I feel bad for her because of all the things she's gone through. So at the moment that she sees me happy, you know, with a new man in my life and with Todd, and I'm doing well, and I'm happy, you know, and my kids are doing better, and, you know, Frankie's come such a long way, she finds the time to always kind of bring up my past and everything I've gone through to make a point. And I don't think you need to do that. So I just asked her, like, please stop talking about my past and about me and my family.